ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नित्यानन्द नमस्तुभ्यं प्रेमानन्दप्रदायिने कलौ कल्मषनाशाय जानवापते नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा। So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. So we are discussing from chapter 2 and verse number 59, one of the very important verse of Bhagavad Gita and very practical and related with modern younger generation. Very nice verses are coming nowadays just to help all of us. So in this verse, Lord Krishna is telling, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasvarjam rasopiyasya param drishtva nivartate. Though the embodied soul means embodied, one who has accepted this material body. So this verse is applicable for all those devotees who have material bodies. How many of you have material bodies? Please raise your hand. So for those devotees, this verse is applicable. So listen it very carefully. Huh? Only two, three devotees have material bodies. The rest, everyone has a spiritual body. Wow, very nice. Um, I know. Means only four, five, six devotees are hearing. And what about others? Vritrasur Prabhu. And where is this Dawn Prabhu? Dawn has gone. Dawn has gone. Vritrasur is there. Okay. Okay. Nice. A few devotees are listening. So, though the embodied soul, that means Lord Krishna is talking about us who have this material body, embodied soul, may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. Is it true? Yes or no? Yes, definitely it's true. But seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness. So if you just tell somebody that don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't eat it, don't eat, and don't, especially don't think about somebody, someone, something. Don't think. The nature of the mind is that it goes there only, runs more and more. Uh, so, if we just try to restrict ourselves from sense enjoyment, especially those kind of sense enjoyment for which one has become very attached. Once this attachment factor, A factor, till now we have discussed these three factors: W factor, K factor, and A factor. W factor means willingness factor, K factor means Krishna factor, and A factor means attachment factor. What is this attachment factor? All these three factors have very deep meanings. So one has to understand the deep meaning behind it. So other two factors will explain sometimes later. I've already explained it, but when the time comes, we'll explain it. But now the focus is A factor, attachment factor. So what does this attachment factor means? So it means attachment. In Hindi, it is said asakti. Asakti. Asakti means that which can come. आ सकती है लेकिन जा नहीं सकती. Not easy to go away. No, Baba. That is called attachment factor. जो आ सकती है या आ सकता है, फॉर अ बॉय आ सकती है एंड फॉर अ गर्ल आ सकता है, स्पेशली फॉर यंग डिवोटीज। तो आ सकती है या आ सकता है बट जा नहीं सकता है, आसानी से आ सकती है। द अटैचमेंट फैक्टर्स कैन कम वेरी इजिली। You will not even come to know when it entered within the heart. पता भी नहीं चलता है, isn't it? You'll not even understand how, when, and where it entered, or he or she entered. We can speak very frankly because I'm experiencing nowadays all these things happening. It's so easy. पता भी नहीं चलता है. हाँ. Is it so? I'm completely surprised. There are few cases. I'm completely surprised. Uh, without actually meeting, with just a few chats within few days. There's so deep-rooted attachment. Is it possible? Uh, No, it's possible, Prabhu. I never thought of this, but it is happening. It has happened. These cases have come. It's Maya is so powerful uh, that just a little bit. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? सुई की तरह गया और हाथी बन गया। प्रभुपाद एक बार बोले, Prabhupada said, I went like a needle in American countries, and when I came out like elephant. So when I entered inside, uh, जब मैं गया था अमेरिका घुसा, सो निडिल की तरह गया था। अगर अमेरिकन लोगों को पता होता कि एलिफेंट बन जाएगा, तो वो लोग पहले ही मुझे मार देते, भगा देते। बट दे डिडंट रियलाइज, बिकॉज विद इन वेरी शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, बहुत कुछ ही समय में प्रभुपाद इन्फ्लुएंस कर दिए यंगर जनरेशन को, और बहुत बड़ा मूवमेंट खड़ा हो गया। तो बहुत गवर्नमेंट को जब तक नोटिस में पहुंचा कि ऐसा ऐसा कोई आ गया है और हरे कृष्णा हिंदू रिलीजन स्प्रेड कर रहा है, तब तक तो लेट हो चुका था ऑलरेडी। काम हो कर दिया था प्रभुपाद जी ने, सेंटर्स बहुत सारे स्टेब्लिश कर दिए थे, एंड ही इनिशिएटेड मेनी अमेरिकन यंग डिवोटीज एंड गेव देम संन्यास। विद इन 2 2 इयर्स, 2 2 साल के अंदर प्रभुपाद जी संन्यास दे देते थे। वो पूरा डेडिकेट होकर के पूरे अमेरिका ही नहीं, पूरे ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड में जा करके प्रचार करना चालू कर देता था। इट्स समथिंग लाइक दिस, इसको बोलते हैं ए फैक्टर। इट enters within the heart like anything. It starts with just a small chat or a small talk, a small one single meeting and one single sight. एक्चुअली मटेरियल वर्ड में बोला भी जाता है ना, लव एट फर्स्ट साइट, है ना? वही चीज है अटैचमेंट फैक्टर। उसको सोचते हैं लव एट फर्स्ट साइट। बाबा यू गॉट बोल्ड एट फर्स्ट साइट, ये बोलना चाहिए। बोल्ड ही हो गया ना, क्लीन बोल्ड हो गया, माया ने बोल्ड कर दिया। और उसको बोलता है इतना अच्छे तरीके से बोलता है कि आई गॉट लव एट फर्स्ट साइट, एक बार देखने मात्र से प्रेम हो गया। सच अ वंडरफुल प्रेम, आई गॉट माई लव। सच अ ग्रेट इल्यूजन। He doesn't understand that you are so weak. You are so weak that just by one sight, Maya clean bold you. एक साइट में बोल्ड कर दिया। हाँ। सो इसको बोलते हैं अटैचमेंट फैक्टर। अटैचमेंट फैक्टर मीन्स इट कैन कम वेरी इजिली, वेरी means uninformingly, without informing, without notice. You cannot even notice it. And when it develops within the heart, when one gets comes to realize that, oh, maybe I got attached, so then it's already finished, complete हो गया, खेल खत्म हो जाता है। इट्स लाइक कैंसर, कैंसर में भी ऐसे ही होता है ना कभी कभी, वो फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड स्टेज तक पहुंच जाता है, ज्यादा सिम्टम्स मैनिफेस्ट नहीं होते हैं, लेकिन ऑलरेडी खत्म कर देता है शरीर को लगभग। और तब पता चलता है, डिटेक्ट होता है, अरे बाप रे, ये तो कैंसर हो गया, फिनिश, गेम ओवर, नो मोर, केवल कुछ महीने का मेहमान है ये। उसी प्रकार से दिस अटैचमेंट फैक्टर इज इवन मोर डेंजरस देन द कैंसर, फोर्थ स्टेज और द लास्ट स्टेज कैंसर, जिसमें बहुत तीव्रता से होता है। बट एनीवे, Yeah, this A factor, which is so very powerful, it's not easy to overcome. And it conquers the heart of the person. माइंड को, हृदय को पूरी तरीके से कॉन्कर कर लेता है, कैप्चर कर लेता है. It can be overcome by this K factor, कृष्णा फैक्टर और विलिंगनेस फैक्टर के द्वारा. और जैसे कैंसर का भी हालांकि इलाज नहीं है यहाँ पे, तो ह्यूमन सोसाइटी वी डोंट हैव एनी ट्रीटमेंट, बट डेमीगॉड्स के पास है इसका इलाज. अगर किसी को कैंसर हो जाए, इफ यू अप्रोच डेमीगॉड्स, वो उसको ट्रीट कर सकते हैं, स्पेशली अश्वनी कुमार, उनके पास है ये. बट ये जो कैंसर है, डेंजरस टाइप ऑफ अटैचमेंट कैंसर, इसको ओवरकम किया जा सकता है. उसका सोल्यूशन भगवान यहाँ पे बता रहा है, ध्यान से सुनते जाइए. सो ये, so when one comes to this stage, though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, the taste for sense objects remains. सेंस ऑब्जेक्ट का जो टेस्ट है वो बना रह जाता है, फिर भी निकलता नहीं. पहले अर्लियर आई यूज्ड टू थिंक दैट वाज मिसकंसेप्शन. अभी मुझे रियलाइज हो रहा है. मैं मुझे सोचा इट्स नॉट सो डिफिकल्ट. इफ somebody is feeling some attachment, getting attracted to somebody, you just stop communication. You just out of sight, out of mind बोलते हैं ना. So it works, but हमेशा नहीं वर्क करता है. अगर ए फैक्टर डेवलप हो गया है, तो द मोर द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ पर्सन गोज आउट ऑफ साइट, इट इज नॉट आउट ऑफ माइंड, इट्स मोर इन द माइंड. इज इट ट्रू? या, इसलिए फिर इसको 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 एक अलग तरीके से इसको बोला जाता है इस संसार में. देखिए, माया इज इल्यूजन इज सो स्ट्रांग कि जो हमारी पिटीबल कंडीशन है, हमारी जो दयनीय स्थिति है, और हमारी जो फेल्ड पोजीशन है, वी फेल्ड, माया डिफीटेड अस, उसको कुछ ना कुछ ऐसे बोल करके कन्विंस किया जाता है, दिस इज गुड, दिस इज नाइस, है ना. जैसे लव एट फर्स्ट साइट, आई गॉट माई लव, ये भी एक इल्यूजन है. यू गॉट डिफीटेड बाय माया एंड यू आर थिंकिंग यू गॉट योर लव. rather you lost your real love. Krishna is your real love. But if you got entangled into this lusty business, thinking that it is your love, then you got defeated completely, with no hope, no question of again coming back. It's just like कोई सोल्जर गया युद्ध करने के लिए, और पहले ही गोली से उसके हृदय में मार दिया, तो फिनिश ऑफ हो गया, अब क्या युद्ध करेगा. सो वन शुड अंडरस्टैंड दिस, वन शुड नॉट बी इन सो मच इल्यूजन. और दूसरा, द सेकंड थिंग, एब्सेंस ऑफ, क्या बोलते हैं, आई फॉरगॉट, somebody told me, एब्सेंस इज हाईएस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ प्रेजेंस, ऐसा कुछ तो बोलते हैं. आउट ऑफ साइट becomes more powerfully manifested. So in a spiritual circle, it is true, uh, इसको बोलते हैं विरह भाव, separation, love in separation. In the spiritual world, the same thing is there, but not same thing. In the spiritual world, the same thing is there, but not the same thing. But it appears to be the similar. Like gopis feeling separation from Krishna, Krishna feeling separation from gopis. So it is separation, love in separation is more powerful, more intense, and the love is manifested more powerfully when there is separation than union. In union, there is a kind of loving exchanges, and a kind of bliss is experienced. Devotees and the Supreme Lord relish some kind of highest kind of bliss. But when they are separated for time being, so that bliss of separation in love uh, becomes many millions of times more. But that is not true in the material world, although it appears to be so. But in the material world, what happens? Exactly opposite happens. In the spiritual world, when Krishna and his devotees they are separated from each other, so their love is intensified millions of times. In the material world, uh, uh, a person who becomes very frustrated and depressed and suffers miserable consequences because of his so-called loving dealings or lustful dealings, we should say rather. So he wants to retire from it. He wants to give it up. जिसको बोलते हैं breakup. It may be it is applicable for everything or anything material, not just a boyfriend, girlfriend, man or woman, but anything. Any person who keeps so much ambitions in his life. So because of either to get that ambition fulfilled or after getting the ambition fulfilled to maintain that status quo or for any reason he experiences great miseries, then he wants to get out of it. Break up chahta hai usse. Uh, So then he gets separated. So in that separation, just like in the spiritual world, the love is multifold. Uh, Millions of times it increases. So the separation in the material world causes more frustration and forces one to again and again unite and to continue the same business of materialistic activities. Although the person knows if I again go and do this material activity or this sense gratification, my life will be miserable. But being separated from such material sense gratification uh, increases his frustration more. Then he again unites. इसको इसी को शास्त्र की भाषा में भोग एंड त्याग बोला जाता है. Bhoga means sense enjoyment. So after doing sense enjoyment, one gets miseries. There is not even a single example in the history. You can research, you can find out all the scriptures, read all the scriptures. Just don't go and ask the person who is influenced by Maya. Any person who is influenced by Maya may tell you a lie because he's in illusion. But there is not even a single example in the history uh, uh, where a person who has undergone this bhoga pravritti, bhoga means sense gratification, a person who has undergone sense gratification and has achieved happiness or bliss or everlasting peace and satisfaction. This is all not possible. In the Bhagavatam, that's why the example is given. In the fire, if you think that I will extinguish the fire by pouring petrol uh, upon it or ghee upon it, so what will happen? The fire will extinguish or it will ablaze more. Uh, the fire will become more fiery. The more fire will come out. Supplying fuel to fire, what will happen? It is not going to extinguish it. Similarly, the lustful propensities within the heart, it cannot be extinguished. It's like fire. It cannot be extinguished by the business of bhoga, sense gratification. Although temporarily the activities of sense gratification give some kind of relief, but that is short-term relief actually becomes a cause of it's his permanent or multifold frustration. That's why in the Bhagavatam, another example is given. Kandu yaneva iva dukkha bhajam. I'll show you the verse. Prahlad Maharaj says this, especially with regards to this sex enjoyment. Prahlad Maharaj says this. Uh, Kandu yanena iha iha iva dukkha bhajam. Iva dukkha bhajam. I hope you'll get the verse. Yes, 7:9:45. But 7:9:45. Oh, it's very powerful verse. I don't know whether I should take this or not. But okay, let's just briefly take it. यन्मैथुनादिगृहमेदि सुखं हि तुच्छं कन्दूयनेन करयोरिव दुःखदुःखम् तृप्यन्ति नेह कृपणा बहुदुःखभाजा Kanduti Manasijam Vishaheta Dhira Manasijam. It is all generated within the mind. There is absolutely, there is no actual existence of this feeling. Manasijam means it is this feeling of impulse, especially he's talking about sex impulse, but it can be applied for anything. But this is the most impulsive. But Vishaheta Dhira. Dhira means a sober person should tolerate it. He should not just become so foolish that in order to satisfy this impulse, he should pour ghee on the fire. One should not act like this. So Prahlad Maharaj says, the sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve an itch, just like an itching sensation. Grahamaris, or so-called Grihasthas, who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The Kripanas, the fools who are just the opposite of Brahmanas, are not such satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. But those who are dhira, however, who are sober and who tolerate this itching, are not subjected to the sufferings of fools and rascals. One who can tolerate this urge uh, to sense enjoyment, so they can become free from the consequences of undergoing such sense gratification, and they can save themselves from suffering, miseries, uh, like fools and rascals who suffer in this world. The Bhagavatam is so straightforward. Just like itching sensation. As soon as we have itching sensation in our body and we itch that particular part, so immediately there is some kind of relief, isn't it? We feel some kind of relief immediately. But that relief is actually what? That relief is actually is going to become the cause of misery. Everyone knows this. The more one itches, uh, the itching on the itching sensation part, ultimately that itching sensation produces a greater misery, and so much so happens sometimes the blood comes out. Prabhupada says there is itching and the person itches and then blood comes out. And that becomes very miserable condition. And sometimes it becomes very poisonous. So that's why those who are Dhira, they understand this. So before one gets entangled into this nonsense kind of A factor, attachment factor, one should be very careful not to entangle himself in this and be aloof from any opportunity, any association, any dangerous situation where one can get entangled. And it's very clear if we risk ourselves of freeing us, means mixing us very freely, especially with regards to young boys and girls, then it is going to happen. There is no alternative. It must happen. And we can see because nobody in this material world has so much control over the senses that he can control himself, uh, that he is without being affected by our attachment factor. Even such great rishis, Vishwamitra Muni, Saubri Rishi, they fell down. And there are examples of great demigods also. Lord Brahma, he also became attached. Even the example of Lord Shiva is given. Lord Shiva is considered to be the topmost Dhira, the greatest of the Dhira personality. Dhira means very sober. Sober means one who has conquered all his senses. Lord Shiva is so great, he has so great sense control that he can make her wife Parvati sit on his lap, and he can speak the philosophy of Bhagavatam. Just imagine, just like I'm speaking right now. So I'm speaking because there's no such opportunity. Is it possible for me if I make a beautiful young girl to sit on my lap? I want to speak of making her sitting on my lap, and if see somebody is very who is very beautiful, if she's sitting just in front of me, it won't be very easy for me to speak such high philosophy. But Lord Shiva is such great personality that he could speak pure Bhagavatam without getting agitated, while Mother Parvati is sitting on his lap. And Mother Parvati is considered to be the most beautiful woman in the entire material existence, material world, most powerful, more beautiful than Urvashi also. Just that Lord Shiva, she wanted to see the Moni form of the Lord, Moni Murti. And Lord Narayana said, warned him that no, my dear Shambhu, you won't be able to handle it. Although you are Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu, the topmost devotee, but you cannot handle it. So better not to see my Moni form. It is very bewildering. But Lord Shiva desired, and he had practically forced Lord Narayana. And that was purpose was there. Lord Shiva wanted to establish the supremacy of Lord Narayana. So then Lord Narayana exhibited this form, and in the Bhagavatam it is mentioned. That's why there is no hesitation to share this because in the Bhagavatam it is already mentioned And there is no disrespect to Lord Shiva, rather the glories of Lord Shiva is also revealed in this incident. So especially then Moni Murti, when she came, appeared, and it is mentioned, especially when she demonstrated the features of her breast, Lord Shiva became so bewildered. He became so mad. He started running after her, and the agitation was so strong that there was discharge. He discharged practically. But because he is Lord Shiva, so he could control immediately after that. He could understand and restrained himself. And he came to senses. And immediately Moni Murti disappeared. So, but just to illustrate this point, so Bhagavatam says Lord Shiva could do this because he's Lord Shiva. He's Dhira, a very sober personality. So he could restrain finally, but nobody else can do so. And the glory of the supremacy of Lord Narayana was his soul sister. But the point is, it's not easy. It's the most difficult thing. That's why for a man, a woman is Maya, and for a woman, man is Maya. So that's what Prabhupada said. Boys are good, girls are good, but when they come together, they are bad. So before this attachment factor may develop within our heart, one should be careful because even after when the attachment factor has developed, so it will be very difficult. Even if one is trying, one is restricting himself from sense enjoyment, direct contact, but the taste for sense object remains, and it is very a rigorous task than to remove the taste for sense enjoyment. But no need to worry if somebody has got entangled to some degree, so much so that even though he or she, anybody, was trying very hard to come out of those sense enjoyment, although restricting artificially very with good effort, but still the taste is remaining there within the mind, and it's very difficult to remove it. Lord Krishna is giving us the solution. The solution is very simple, but it requires practice. But it is perfect solution. There is no doubt about it. Great, dev- many devotees have done this, so there is no need to worry about it. But seizing such engagement by experiencing a higher taste, one can become fixed in proper consciousness. Param drishtva nivartate. Uh, So if one can experience the a higher sense of attachment, then this lower attachment for Maya can go away. So asakti, attachment factor, asakti means जो आ सकती है लेकिन जा नहीं सकती है, very difficult. But that आसक्ति can easily go अगर एक बड़ी आसक्ति आ जाए. I'll give you one example and then we'll end here. Time भी हो गया है इसको रिवर्क क्लास करना है. किंग वेण वेण महाराज करके हुए. So King Vena, he was such a cruel king. इतने क्रूर राजा थे वो. और he was such a big, such a great dacoit, murderer, rapist and whatever, so many things. कि उनके राज्य के जो बाकी जो छोटे छोटे चोर डकैत थे वो सब भाग गए राज्य के छोड़. हाँ. तो जनता उनके जो पब्लिक थे सिटीजन who were harassed by small kind of these dacoits and thieves, murderers, rapists. So जब ये वेन महाराज राजा बने because he was a bigger thief, bigger murderer, bigger dacoit. So उनके पावर के बल पे all those smaller जो चीजें थी स्मॉलर थीव्स एंड डेकॉइट्स दे लेफ्ट द किंगडम दे वेंट अवे. तो जो जनता थी उनको फिर उनसे हरेसमेंट नहीं मिला. उसी प्रकार से these attachments for anything of this material world, attachment for any object, for any person, any ambition or anything, these are all, although for us it is very big, but for Krishna it is very small. So if one can develop attachment for Krishna by any means, then all these small attachments, which of course for us may be very big, it will not reside there. It will immediately run away. खत्म हो जाएगा, immediately खत्म हो जाएगा. So that's why those who become very convinced on this fact, if this K factor, Krishna's presence, K factor और भी इसका कुछ deep meaning है, हम लोग कभी और चर्चा करेंगे. बट के फैक्टर के बारे में कृष्णा फैक्टर से अगर कन्विंस होता है कोई, then such a devotee, he develops complete willingness factor to have attachment for Krishna. And as soon as this willingness, what to speak of having attachment for Krishna, even the willingness for having attachment for Krishna is so powerful that one can become free from all attachment for Maya. That is for sure. This is guaranteed. You can write it down. You just develop, but that willingness for developing attachment for Krishna must be sincere and pure and 100%. It should not be, yes, I am also willing. No. Yes means yes, yes, I want. I want to develop full attachment for Krishna. There may be no attachment for Krishna right now at present. Just like, let me very frankly tell you, I do not have any attachment for Krishna as of now because attachment for Krishna is so powerful. One cannot live in this material world without being without serving Krishna even for a single moment. I was admitted in the hospital. I could not go for 7 days for dressing or Nitai, but still I'm alive. So this proves that I have no attachment for serving Gaur Nitai. But at least by the mercy of my Guru Maharaj, because I served him, so by his mercy, somewhat this willingness factor is there. Yeah. Because of this willingness factor, uh, so this willingness factor is so powerful that it itself is enabling, helping me a lot to give up all attachment for Maya. I'm not freed from attachment for Maya, but at least this willingness factor. That's why I'm very sure. Uh, Even a person who can just develop the desire to become a genuine servant of Krishna, a person who can just develop this willingness factor, willingness to become devoted to Krishna alone, attachment to develop attachment for Krishna alone, he can never get deviated, never get distracted by any Maya. All Maya will run away from. This is guaranteed. But one must have faith. If you have faith, you can try it. This is possible. Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.